All right, Hall County, welcome back. Andy Roberts, Jason Loggins, Tony Cash, In the Stands podcast, episode 5. I think we're going to jump straight into this one. Just to let everybody know, Cash and Loggins are like two kids at Christmas, and evidently they've got something up their sleeve to press my buttons about the topics we're going to talk about today. So I'm ready for that, but we'll get to that this week. Cross country, want to jump into that. North Hall Invitational this past week. I do want to say one thing to start this episode, which, number one, we want feedback from everyone. Again, we welcome it, but I will say a couple things I think a few of us have heard. As the last few weeks, we've heard a lot about North Hall and Cherokee Bluff. Yeah. I will say we have talked a lot about them. The way that we don't talk as much about them is you got to start beating them. I don't have a dog in that fight, so that is as honest as I can say that. So they had the game of the week 2 weeks ago, and here I'm going into cross country and volleyball, and they've dominated again. So if you think we're repeating that, it's not on purpose. It's we're promoting the sports around here. So just want to throw that out there before we start this episode. Cross country, North Hall Invitational. North Hall, I guess, home field, or should we say home track?
Home course.
Came into play here. North Hall absolutely dominated, girls and boys. Both took home team wins on boys and girls side.
Wow.
On the girls side, top 3 out of the top 10 first 3 finishes for North Hall. Summer Muxlow, 19:18 was the fastest time on the girls side in that meet. Unbelievable, I know. Elin Kennedy in second, Camille Nix in third, again all with North Hall. In 7th, Arden Jensen, Flowery Branch. Emma Dotson, Chastity in 8th. And in 9th, Lily Kate Morgan, again with North Hall. So great job, girls. That's a huge meet from what I saw. Most Hall County teams ran in that, so props to you. On the boys' side, again, North Hall takes home the team victory. Max Young again. I know we've said that name a few times, but again, you're going to have to beat him if you don't want us to keep saying his name. 16:39 was his time in that run.
Dang.
That's just over, a 5.5 minute
I don't know. I can't
mile
do math
for
right now.
5.5 minute for both.
I could do that in a mile easy.
What, 16 minutes?
Yeah.
I doubt it. There's no way. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the two of you should race at some point.
We're going to. We're going to have to.
I'll trip him.
Okay, that's a good episode. I kind of like that. All right, Max Young, North Hall taking first. Second, Josiah Dolan, LCA. Great job. Mason Hill, I see you. North Hall again. 3rd place finish for the boys. Grant McDuffie, Cherokee Bluff. 4th place finish. And Selvin Perez with Johnson in the 9th place finish.
There we go.
So, again, great job to all the runners on that. Again, I know that was a big meet. Volleyball World, we promoted that last week.
Yep.
Hall County Championships. I know Loggins and I were out there.
First time.
Saw some good volleyball, and we, I think, have taught Loggins a little bit about volleyball.
Yeah, it's very intense. The passion that those girls put in for these matches are. If you've never been, you should go. That's all.
He didn't get to become a line judge?
No.
Dang.
I tried to work it out.
No, you have to be paying too much attention to that. I was watching both matches at the same time.
Wait, there's 2 going on the same courts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, 2 courts, 2 games at the same time.
No, I'm out.
Yeah, big crowd. It was nice. It was good.
Yep, great tournament.
Yeah.
So we really did learn a lot. But again, Cherokee Bluff takes the win.
They did.
Not our fault. Gainesville in the championship match with them. Gainesville, a lot of athletes on that team. They look good. The final match was great. But Cherokee Bluff outlasted them. North Hall in 3rd, and Lakeview Lions in 4th.
Okay.
Props to you.
There we go.
I know that program's growing, and they did a great job. So
Nice.
Softball World, Loggins, I know it was kind of quiet last week, so we will go ahead and jump into football, Cash.
Yeah.
Well, Mother Nature, she threw a wrench in a lot of plans this past weekend. There's one game that still is not to be completed yet in the Battle of Oakwood. They're coming up for the second half Monday night at 6 p.m. I don't know, because Bluff got their game in, and props to East Hall and North Hall. They started back at 12:45 a.m.
Yeah, I heard 2 a.m. finish.
2 a.m. finish on a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Ty Kemp catches the game-winning touchdown.
Bat the ball down.
Well,
Bat the ball down.
Look,
But How many times have they actually been coached a Hail Mary in high
I'm
school?
not sure, but I'm talking 2 o'clock in the morning. You're still out there playing football.
Two
Props.
lightning delays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we were talking to somebody from North Hall at the volleyball Saturday, and they said people got back at North Hall between 3:45 and 4 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the morning.
Haversham, I think Haversham was like, because it was the third quarter and another lightning delay, or it was the fourth quarter. There was 7 minutes left. Haversham coach looked at Coach Jones like, we're good, thank you. We'll go back home. Because, I mean, at that time, I think it was already near midnight.
Yeah, that's unheard of in high school to play that late. I'm going to have to give props to East Hall. I know that was, listen, I know you're still probably heartbroken over that loss. I cannot believe it. A lot of people cannot believe it. You did hear it on this podcast. Jamarcus,
he's the man.
He's the real deal. That quarterback at East Hall.
He's a dude.
He's a dude. He is unbelievable. That was one heck of a football game, really by their whole team. They had that. I know it's a heartbreaker, but again, still down 10 within, a minute or two? And come back to score twice. Had a great opportunity to win that football game. Would have been a huge upset.
No doubt.
A lot of people talk Saturday about how big of an upset that would have been. I'm going to go ahead and tell you East Hall's got a good football team this year.
Yeah.
I think that obviously North Hall, they've got to go back to the drawing board on defense after these last few games, but still at the end of the day, East Hall's a better football team than what some are giving them credit for.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, anyways.
So, I mean, football, it was crazy. Still got the Battle of Oakwood again Monday night, 6 p.m. Chestatee holds off to beat East Forsyth. This week we've got a slow week in football. I think Bluff goes to Banks County. Then we have the Battle of North Hall, Chestatee, North Hall. I know that's a heated rivalry up there. You know, you split the schools back in, 03 when they opened up Chestatee, split it up there. So that's
Chestatee's playing good right now.
They are.
Well, it's North Hall 2.0 back in the day with that wing T offense.
Yeah.
So it's hard to defend.
I'm going to say in football right now, the three of us would probably agree. Tell me if we disagree. Gainesville, North Hall, Cherokee Bluff sitting there, but Chestatee and Flowery Branch, they're playing good football right now.
They are.
Right
Flowery Branch is under the radar. So that coach has got them
both
going.
Both of them have had the last 2 weeks big-time games.
I will tell you one thing about Flowery Branch is they're in 4A, I believe it is. So they play in a different region, so we don't really get to see them as much. Playing against the same schools, so it'll be interesting. Bluff will eventually get there when they get the numbers up. And then the big game of the week is Carrollton, the big mighty Carrollton driving up to Gainesville, coming to City Park Friday night to visit Gainesville.
Can't wait for that one. Three of us will be at that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's two of the top coaches in Georgia financially.
And the battle of the transfers.
And all the transfers up there at City Park.
So that was it. That's what y'all had in store.
We'll
see what I was going to feel about transfers. I'm talking about Gainesville.
I mean, everybody wants to talk about it, so here we are.
So do we feel Gainesville's the one that has all the transfers coming in?
Well, I mean, there's two schools in our area that have a lot of transfers coming in. They really throw a monkey wrench in everything. So, yes, Gainesville, I will say, in Hall County, is the number one school.
Okay. Second would be Buford, I'm guessing.
That would be the other one.
Okay. Okay. So I see. I knew the two of you had something up your sleeve, and so here we're gonna go there.
Yeah,
all right.
We might as well.
All right. Here's my thoughts on that, and I'm gonna tell everybody how I feel about all of it. Yes. Buford, we all know these last 5 to 8 years, what they've done. It has changed the landscape a little bit. Yes, Gainesville went out and got a nationally known coach, a great coach from what I understand and what everyone's saying. So now they are on their way to becoming a powerhouse program or school, I'm going to say, because it's not just football. Now the dominoes are falling. Basketball coach, nationally known. Baseball coach,
volleyball,
nationally known.
Yeah,
volleyball, a big hire this year.
They're not messing around.
They're not messing around. And so, yes, I'm going to say Buford, Gainesville. Not what you see every day. I'm going to say they changed the landscape a little bit. But in the words of Randy Coleman, that the three of us know, and a lot of people in this community,
do it.
Don't get it twisted. Everybody can say what they want about Buford and Gainesville, and they've got transfers, and they're good because of this and that. And let's keep it real. The top 3 to 4 football programs in Hall County have a handful of transfers in those programs.
Yes.
They have prospered from this. It is helping the community entirely. before I say all this, let me say this. I do not have a problem. You're never going to hear Andy Roberts say, oh, this student athlete should have never done this. These parents should have never taken their kid over there. You have to do what's best for your children.
100%.
I think we all agree on that. If transferring, if reclassing, we're going to get into that too. Don't get me started. But if reclassing, if that's best for your child, then you've got the right to do that. You've got to do it. I get it. But don't then want to talk about, oh, it's Gainesville Buford, and act like, oh, we don't take advantage of the same thing.
Well, let's say not take advantage of it. What if it's the domino effect?
It is the domino effect, and
So
I think we're going to see it for a long time. But what I'm talking about is, okay, it is the domino effect. A handful of Hall County schools are going to continue to get transfers. They're going to continue to build their programs. But then you go out in the community and you hear spilling tea by the water cooler. I've just learned that terminology in the last few weeks. You should be proud of me. You hear people talking and go, oh, yeah, Gainesville's just good because they get transfers in. They've got Coach Niblett, so there's transfers coming in, and that's why they're good. And it's people, again, just down the road that let's not forget, transfers. You've got your own transfers. Yeah. I'm fans of this. I don't blame anybody for making those moves. I think there's some good situations where you make those moves. If it's better for your children, make them. I'm not against them. But we're all doing well because of it. You go down to the Brickyard, they're 4 of their top producers, 2 of them on the defensive side of the ball, 1 of them's a captain, and 2 of them on the offensive side, high school transfers, 9th grade or later. I'm going to be nice and say middle school. We won't even talk about transferring in middle school. I think that's part of the program, right. Whatever. So let's just say transfers are 9th grade or later. Yep. But 9th grade does count. If you transfer your 9th grade year, you've transferred into that program. Mm-hmm. Again, nothing wrong with it. But you've got 4 there. Cherokee Bluff's got some.
We do.
What it looks like the future of their quarterback. Yep. My man down there.
He's a stud.
He brings a lot to the table.
He does.
Transferred in. Flowery Branch. We've got a few transfers sitting there. Yep. It's happening all over the county. And more power to these programs. I think it's a great thing. But it hits a nerve to go around the community and continue to hear, oh, Gainesville this, Gainesville that. Like Gainesville's doing something wrong, and every program's got transfers, and that's why they're doing good right now.
Well, I think it's a shell shock the last 4 years since Niblett came in. He's started bringing these transfers in and buried the local kids, right? But like you said, it benefits the other schools when these kids leave, and start playing for other teams. It's just, and Gainesville is not going to play any other Hall County school in football. They're just not. They're just too big. I know somebody made the comment the other day like North Hall and Gainesville should play. Well, they just don't. They don't play. So I don't know why people are hating on Gainesville as much about the transfers when they're not actually going to play each other. They're in a totally different region, totally different classification. So it's just.
What? I think it's jealousy. You look at when Niblett came in. Look what he's done. Not just athletically for but look what Gainesville's invested in their facilities. I mean, it's everything they're investing in, which is great. I personally want to see more of that within Hall County. I don't know how much our school board or what the budget allows for that, but you go over at Gainesville, they've got a covered, turfed practice facility that I got to when my oldest played for travel football team. They let us use that. It was amazing to go in there and I'm sitting there. Flowery Branch has got a great spot to put one in. I know Cherokee Bluff's got a great spot to put one in. Think about having that would attract more. And one thing that, to me, is that you see that, right? Transfers, Niblett comes in, brings in transfer. What does he also bring? They bring money. People willing to spend. People will. And I want to see that. It is, but I want to see that because other schools should benefit from it. You're right. They do transfer. They do go to other schools in the Hall County. It's great, but I want to see more of it to be able to generate more money within the schools, because let's be real about the whole, and anybody out there don't take offense when it comes to, but the main derivative of money and support and sponsors is sports. Your big 3 sports are football, basketball, baseball, softball's getting there, but nothing else really bringing in a whole lot of money. And I hate it for the other ones, but if you can start dominating, start bringing in some high-profile athletes, that's going to bring in more money. Then you can take that money and share it, just like they used to in college before the NIL and everything. Football had to share a lot of their budget to cover the losses for the other sports, and they're willing to do that because they're getting so much and they're winning. So it should be the same in high school. And I think if you do that, you can spend money. Not just, on athletic facilities, but I guarantee their academics. Look what Gainesville's done to their academic buildings that they've done. They've upgraded all of those, and it needs to happen throughout the county.
And it's starting. You're 100% right, Cash. It's about money, a lot of it, and but it helps to bring in the money and into the community. And yes, the facilities at Gainesville are unbelievable. I can tell you it costs a lot because the increase in my taxes the last few years, and I don't even have a child in the city school system right now. But anyways, it's already started at North Hall. Look at the baseball and even football facilities. I know I've heard it when football started upgrading is, hey, because of what Gainesville's doing, what they're doing right now, we've got to, even though we may not keep up with exactly what they're doing because of the size of the schools and the amount of money, we've got to keep facilities up. We have to keep it athletes interested in coming here because a lot of it is about that. And so now look at the baseball facility and the football facility. Look at what North Hall's baseball team is going to try to accomplish this year, and they've got a very good program, again, with some transfers. So let's keep it real because of transfers that are in there. I'm sorry if I'm making anybody mad right now. I'm not against it. I'm okay with it, but I'm just don't sit here and tell me this is our year because all the kids have grown up from elementary school. That's not the way of the land anymore. It's not.
I'm going to go back to when Dr. Tim Scott was on here, and he talked about, we asked him about the GHSA rule where the 2 transfers, you guys sit out. So I have my personal feelings about that, and I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'll use my oldest for an example, Liam. If me and my wife make the conscious decision financially, he goes, right now we're slated to go to Cherokee Bluff. We go there freshman year. We don't like the coaches. They make coaching change, whatever. All right. We sell our house. Let's say we move to Flowery Branch District, right?
Okay.
All right. I'm allowed to do that per the rule.
Correct.
1 year. So sophomore year, we're at Flowery Branch. Again, let's say we don't like the coaches. We don't like the school, whatever that may be. If I'm willing to spend the money to go to North Hall, Gainesville, Buford, Mill Creek, Secondary, any of those schools, if I'm willing to sell a house or rent another house and move my family, who are they to tell me that my son can't play? Well, I feel very strongly about that because if we're doing what they call you got the proof of moving, right? You make a legitimate move. I don't think they have a right to tell me that he can't play sports because we chose to leave, whether it be academically, athletically, whatever it may be. I have my personal feelings. I don't like that rule because, again, if you're making the decision financially to do it and you make the bona fide move, as they call it, they shouldn't be able to tell me what I can and can't do.
I think it's all athletically, though. There's hardly ever any academics.
Don't disagree with you there.
Okay, so speaking of that, so anyways, back to my point about the facilities. All right, so North Hall, it's already started. We've seen some other field upgrades around the county, but I think that's about to as soon as the money starts coming in. You mark my words. There's other programs right there out there that are about to start upgrading facilities. And yes, it's for their athletes now. It's for the fans. But let's face it, it's because they also know there's a lot of student athletes looking to transfer, female or male, and they want to cater to that. And all I'm saying is own it. That's okay. That's the era we're living in right now, especially now with the transfer portal in college because of what it's doing.
Transfer has been around Hall County. We can go back to the late '90s, okay? Let's be
realistic. No, early '90s. I'm proud of '95 here, and it was already going on in the early '90s with some.
I grew up in Habersham, and I don't recall anybody moving in Habersham. I actually know people that moved out of Habersham, transferred schools. So it's been going on for a long time.
It's been going on for a long time, but now it's at at a higher rate. I mean, now you're seeing all schools.
Is it a higher rate?
Most schools, not all schools.
Or is it just because of social media we get to see it more and well aware of it more?
That might be part of it. I mean, now you're more aware of it. I mean, that could be part of it. But I also think now it's become the norm. I mean, I can tell you this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, again, because of social media and just not seeming like as big of a deal, maybe reclassing. I can say I don't remember a lot of athletes reclassing.
I don't either.
Mm-hmm. And again, that was always, it was basically for educational purposes. And again, if you're listening to this and you have reclassified your child, I'm not saying you shouldn't have. And I mean that. If it's best for your child, if you've got your reasons and that's why you did it, hey, more power to you. But it is happening a lot because of athletics. So all I'm saying is own it. I've literally sat here and listened to people say, oh, I can't believe so-and-so transferred out to this school to play sports, to play football, to play basketball, to play baseball. I can't believe they've done this. I can't believe they took their child to this school and transferred. And why would they do that? And literally it's coming from somebody that just reclassified their student or their child. I mean, you did that for sports. I'm sorry.
It's all sports.
Well, I get it because I looked at my wife 3 weeks ago and said, hey, what are your thoughts on Liam doing 8th grade twice? She looked at me. I was like, it's just a question. I'm not saying we got to do it. Mm-hmm. I think she wanted to say, heck no. But it's a conversation to have because of the development of boys is later than girls. Yep. I see him out of the corner of my eye shaking his head right now because he doesn't want to do it. And I would be straight up honest with you, it would be pure athletically for me to want to hold him back in 8th grade. But then you also got to trust that he's going to develop when he's supposed to develop. So, but I get the reclassing. I think I hear more of that, people talking more about that than I do the transfers as much. But I think it kind of goes hand in hand because people are transferring and reclassing at the same time.
Okay, and then we've got that. So, and again, in my eyes, you reclass to let them mature more and to get an advantage because of maybe the position or sport they play. There's a lot of athletes in the grade above them or 2 grades, whatever. And so sit back as a parent, go, okay, I'm talking athletic purposes here. Hey, it's better, let's reclass them. Let's hold them back. Better opportunity the next couple of years. It's the same as transferring. If you've transferred your child because of this position or sport, they've got a better opportunity over here. Reclassing is the exact same thing. But when you go out in the community, you don't hear that. You almost have the ones that have reclassed still judging the ones that have transferred, the ones that have transferred judging the ones reclassed, and the ones that hadn't done any of it saying they're all crazy. And again, I'm not saying that. You've got to do what's best for your child. And then you've got some that have transferred and reclassed, and it is all for athletic purposes.
Yes.
And again, with what college is doing right now in the transfer portal, and I continue to hear that. We already knew it was a very low chance for anybody to go D1. Again, if that is your goal, student athletes, you keep going after it because absolutely you can still do it. But we are going to keep it real, and it's a very hard thing to do now. And now with the transfer portal, it's even harder. So what I continue to hear, what I tell my boys, you better be willing to go D2, and you better look at D3 and JUCO because it's getting harder and harder.
Well, high school's a business now.
It is a business. And if you're willing to transfer and reclass, you better be willing to go to some of these other colleges.
I can speak first-handedly when it comes to transferring because I did transfer my junior year.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
I did 100%. And I can tell you 100% it was pure athletically why I transferred. And to be honest with you, that move changed the entire trajectory of my life. I'm not sitting here talking to you guys if I don't transfer October 31st of 2002. I can still tell you the day that I started at Lakeview. Halloween. The only reason I remember that because I walked in, I went from 1,600 students at Habersham to 121, and all 121 of them were dressed, and I couldn't remember who the heck they were at that time. So I remember that. But then not just me transferring, but when we talk about reclassing, my brother, when he transferred from South Habersham to Lakeview, he'd finished the 7th grade. Now, my mom started him too early. So when he reclassed, he became what grade he should have been in, but he still reclassed. And the only reason he reclassed, and my dad, I'll never forget, was so happy that she finally agreed to let him reclass, is because developmental reasons. And I asked my brother, hey, what were you happy with that? He's like, yeah. He said, I went from a 5th-round pick to a 2nd-round pick. 100% I was happy with it. All right, then. And it was pure athletically, not academically, for him to reclass. So I get it, being lived it with myself transferring and then watching my brother reclass again. He was going to graduate at 17. So when he reclassed, he was 18. But still, that 1 year was 3 rounds in the draft out of high school. If I'm can go from 18 to 19 and I get bumped 3, it's almost I would do it if it's going to change your opportunities. Why not do it?
A lot are doing it, and
I agree.
would do it. And I'm glad you brought up Lakeview. This is why I'm so passionate about this. My 2 oldest sons are in the Lakeview school system, so I hear it all the time. People don't have a problem telling me, Lakeview, just so many transfers, or y'all recruit over there, or that's you're playing nobody, and that's why you're good. And then I'm going, okay, well, yeah, what games you go watch? Well, I hadn't watched a game yet. Well, okay, we're playing nobody. What schools are you talking about? Well, I don't know. I just don't know the name of the schools, and you're not in GHSA, so you can't be any good. You're a small private school, and now you got transfers, and that's why some of these sports y'all are good in. Really, do we need to go back to the roster and start looking at transfers? Because if 9th grade or later, if they didn't transfer in, really, what are we doing around the county?
Well, it goes back to, I know this is not basketball season, but the last 2-3 years, all the other schools hated Lakeview being in Learland all of a sudden because they're transfers. But they didn't have a problem beating Lakeview for years like a drum.
So back up, because you're on the right track. Mm-hmm. Did they hate Lakeview being in Learland because they were transfers, or because Lakeview
started winning?
They were legit.
Winning.
They were legit.
Well,
That's
right.
But people have been saying that about Lakeview since I was there. When I graduated, we won a state championship my senior year. Anytime that gets brought up, you were a single A. Okay, I faced top tier talent. We faced a couple Hall County schools. We faced Buford that year, and we still Josh Fields from Prince Avenue, who was the closer at Georgia and got drafted. We faced him, and we won.
Again, ignorant comments. So the next time somebody says that, ask them whatever school they're a part of, whatever school they cheer for, fan of, their child's at, and because I've heard it a lot. Oh yeah, well, Lakeview single A or double A, they're nothing. Okay, well, if you're triple A or quad A, are you saying right now you have no problem going up to 6A, going up to 7, which I think 7A is going away, going up to 5 and 6A? So you have no problem right now because of the amount of students you have going from 3A. You're telling me you will beat anybody in 6A? Well, no, that's not the amount of kids we've got in there. Well, then how are you justifying even bringing that up, that it's single A, double A, not GHSA? And I can tell you right now, 90% of the people in this community that say, Lakeview's not in GHSA, so they're not in good, could not tell you anything about the system they're in. They couldn't tell you one thing about it.
Yep.
All they know is, it's not GHSA, y'all can't be any good. You're a small school. Until a Nearland comes, and now all of a sudden we want to have a comment on it, and we've taken all the money all these years. I'm sorry, Lakeview. There's probably going to be some getting upset with me. No. I'm sorry. But they've taken all the money all these years. They were fine with Lakeview being a part of it. And now all of a sudden Lakeview's on the map, and you don't want to get beat by Lakeview because we're that little old school that's not in GHSA. Yeah. And now all of a sudden you got comments about it.
Oh, yeah.
And their ignorance.
It's the you don't want to get beat by.
Well, you still got to line up and play. Whether it's 5-on-5 or 11,
and there's
whatever.
athletes everywhere. Lakeview and LCA played opening weekend this year. I do not have a son in high school on the varsity football team.
They got beat.
And I'm telling you right now, there were athletes on both sides of the ball. LCA and Lakeview, they've got athletes that could play them at all the schools in this county. And I saw it. Anyways, y'all are about to get on. I knew y'all had something up your sleeve. I knew too.
Well, these parents that are bashing Gainesville, and I'm gonna make this clear. I'm not bashing Gainesville when we talk about them. We're just talking about it, right? I think Niblett's done a great job flipping that program. It's never happened here in Hall County. What he's done, he came in and just flipped the script basically. But these parents that are complaining about all these transfers, they're loving it. But the other kids that's transferred into their school, that's helping their team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
you use Buford. So being in South Hall, Cherokee Bluff, there's a lot of kids that should be in our school district that's going to Buford, that are tuition students at Buford. And I've talked to a couple of them, like, what are you going to do when you get to high school and your child is stuck behind somebody that moves in, or they get up to their junior year and all of a sudden they fly in someone like Dylan Ray. I can't say his last name. That moved in. What are you going to do then? We'll just come back to Cherokee Bluff. Then I'm like pissed because, well, I don't want to be secondhand. Like we at Cherokee Bluff, we're building a great program. Flowery Branch is the same. Like I don't understand that. I get why they want to go to Buford. They got great academics at Buford. They push them academically down there. So I will say the one thing about Buford that they absolutely push them academically, but not that we don't in Hall County. I just know more about that with family. But it's like it goes back to tuition. It's almost like private schools because I got friends that live in Gwinnett County. They pay for their kids to go to Cherokee Bluff and Hall County schools. There's kids that come in from Jackson County, from Winder. I mean, all you do is fill out a form, you pay tuition. Hall County's going to keep accepting the $1,000, whatever it is a year tuition. Same with Gainesville. I can be a tuition student at Gainesville. Same with, I mean, it's almost like private school education almost, other than the large bill that some private schools charge.
It is like that. And don't get me wrong, Gainesville, we already know. Yes, Gainesville, how that school is set up now, it is, completely different when you talk about sports all the way from the top to the bottom over there. It has been a domino effect. They've brought in nationally known coaches. That changes some things.
Yep.
Yes, it's going to bring in transfers. I think, from what I've heard, not been over there. So coaches, if this is wrong, I apologize. But, I have heard it is harder to play dual sports over there now because each sport is so demanding because of what their standards are. That's tough. I get it. I know there have been a lot of transfer out of Gainesville. Lives all their lives, and now they feel like to get the best opportunity, they have to transfer out.
Well, their parents were Gainesville High people.
I mean, we've heard some big names this last year too. And when you have board members having to go out, it's a different day and time. At the same time, it's part of it. I mean, I hate to say what did you expect, but it's like, Niblett brings a lot with him.
Yep.
Did so much in Hoover, Alabama, and I'm sorry, the things done in Hoover were because of the success. And again, I don't have stats on this, but I'm going to bet over the years a lot of kids transferred in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. They weren't pumping protein and creatine through the hospital there in Hoover to just all of a sudden produce football players year in and year out.
I agree.
There's a lot of players that transferred in to help with that, and he's a great coach. But that's what comes with the territory. And you went down in basketball and baseball, which, again, I love to see. The three of us are going to Gainesville, Carrollton Friday night. You know why? We want to see multiple D1 athletes on the football field playing
the place
football.
is going to be packed.
It's going to be packed. It's going to be people want to see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad we have a community where they can see it. Yep. I'm glad we have a community where all these other schools are getting transfers to help them. And I understand. I know there's some parents out there right now that they're looking at this on the other end that, little Timmy's been there since, kindergarten, and this has been his dream, and now he's not getting to play. I get it. It sucks. But it's life. I mean, it is life. Yeah. And when little Timmy goes on to work or college, he's going to compete. That's going to be a whole nother episode.
Absolutely. We're get into that. Well, that's what the coach's responsibility is. Win. Also to be an example for the players, and we would be upset with the coaches if they did not put the best product on the field. Mm-hmm. And I know that sometimes that doesn't always happen. I know that some politics can get involved, and that's kind of frustrating because you want your school to be winning. When you start winning, you start bringing in I want to go to that school, but to be a part of a winning program, which is good. Then you got coaches in a bind because they do want to be loyal to the ones that have been there, but at the end of the day, their job is to win. And if you're not winning, then they're gonna get moved on from. So it's their livelihood. They don't want to be looking for a job
again the rest of their life.
Agreed. Yeah, our jobs. If we're not winning, we're going to get in trouble. We're not going to have jobs. So it's that day and time where some kids need to wake up and smell the coffee and realize if they don't go compete and they don't go push themselves, and they're going to be left behind.
Some parents need to wake up and realize your kids are going to have to compete. I'm not going down that road right now.
No.
I'm not going down that road
You
right now.
started to.
That's going to be another episode.
God, we're gonna have all kinds of
because
episodes.
right now a big problem we've got is student athletes need to learn they need to compete. Parents need to learn they have to compete.
I think parents are the majority of the problem. I think the students get it. We talked about referee shortage. I blame the parents. We look at all the talk that you hear about. It's not from the students. It's from the parents. Maybe parents shut the heck up. And
not maybe we should.
We should, and let the kids play. Now, if Liam or one of my kids comes, hey, Dad, I want to go to this school. I want to know why and have that conversation and then be able to make that choice. Again, I support it. If you feel like it's the best decision for you and your family, then you have every right to make that decision. We do it here at work. If somebody wants to leave us and go somewhere else because they think it's the best decision, you should support that person no matter what, if you're a true friend. And that's where I think friendships are ruined at times because you move schools or you move and they're like, oh, you're a traitor. No, I'm not. I made the decision to make the best for me and my family. If you can't support me, then you weren't a friend in the first place. And that's what kills me.
And there are situations, I will say, that I think that the bulk of the problem is competing, not wanting to compete. At the same time, yes, you should be able to transfer. There are scenarios with coaches, with administration that, maybe with other peers in the school that it just doesn't gel for those students. So it is a scenario where they need to transfer out. Right. We'll get into politics later. I know they're everywhere, but even in the rest of your life, you're going to deal with it. There are some programs out there that say we're going to play the best, and then all of a sudden they fold to politics. And I'm sorry, that's as big of a problem as not competing. So there's both sides of that. We get it. We'll talk about, again, competing is going to be another episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably going to bring a guest in for that.
Look, I'm sweating over here because well,
we're passionate.
We are, and I think our county's passionate too. I think the majority of our county is passionate, which is nice. The only thing that I'm kind of frustrated with is I would love to see more of the upgraded facilities at certain schools. Like it was great a few years ago when all the schools got turf. Now, whether you agree with turf or not, I'm not getting into that. But I thought it was great that every county school got turf. I thought that was awesome. It does get miserably hot out there in, August and whatnot. But I think it's awesome all the fields got turfed. I just would love to see that the people take advantage, that we get sponsors. We're able to upgrade the facilities. I don't know what that looks like, but it needs to happen throughout the county.
I agree with that.
And the better the facilities, the more chances you're going to be able to attract people that want to move in here. Again, because we talk about Buford and Gainesville, right? They're the two. This the domino effect. Somebody flies in and comes into Buford, wins a starting job. What's that quarterback going to do? Are they going to hang out there? Or are they going to move? Well, they're more likely going to move. In South Hall, there's 3 schools: West Hall, Flower Ranch, Cherokee Bluff. They're going to move to one of those 3 because it makes sense. Well, got to have the facilities to support it. I mean, you got kids at Buford. If they go to a D3 school, they're going to have better facilities at high school than they do at a D3 school.
I agree with that. And again, that's why Hall County's also got to figure something out with the money.
100%.
And I know, maybe they're not just sitting on it and can't just go build all this on their own. I get it, but at the same time,
we built a farm.
Okay, it's true, but
I know a lot of that was grants and stuff. I get all that, but
I'm with you. But let's keep it real. When we talk about transfers and we talk about the top programs right now, and they've got the transfers in, the top athletes that are going, let's face it, if you went and asked every athlete that has transferred 9th grade or later, the schools that are at, tell us the schools you considered. And I guarantee you
3.
Okay, probably so. I guarantee you there's also probably 3 that every one of them would say wouldn't even have considered it.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, facilities have a lot to do with that. And I know Hall County, we're education. I don't even want to talk about athletics. We are education based. Don't get me wrong. I want all 3 of my sons' education is the number one thing. And we truly feel that way in my household. And that is what we focus on. At the same time, everybody has to understand athletics are a big part of it. Yep. And when you talk about kids transferring into a school system, if the athletic programs are not there and facilities are not there, they're not even going to look at it.
Nope.
So you're about to dwindle away a few of these school systems if you don't start putting money into it.
Yep.
And we can continue to say I know I'm not focused on athletics, and then you're going to get left behind. Let's face it.
What's the sign of times?
Well, I mean, when you talk about education too, I think what it can teach them is obviously the dedication and work ethic to go into it. And we talk about it, it's not just college education, right? Because not everybody is meant to go to college. Tech schools, we need more trades out there. I mean, look at, I mean, I wish now, going back to high school, I wish that college wasn't the main focus. I wish I would have come out, AC guys, plumbers, septic tanks, electricians. They can make a killing because they're in such high demand because we focused, you got to go to college, No, you don't. You can go learn a trade. I got 2 brother-in-laws. They are linemen. They work their tails off on stuff that I wouldn't even attempt to do, but they make a great living by doing that. And all they went to was a little tech program, got their CDLs, learn how to go through the lineman work. I don't even know what they're up in buckets and stuff, and I can't do that, but they work hard. They learned it from athletics. That's one thing it teaches you is how to work hard. It creates routines. Then it carries over, and then you can teach them to handle academics, to handle things like that. So when they say education, I understand. I want them to go. I want my kids to graduate high school, but I don't want them to say that they got to go to college. So when we talk about education, what are we talking about education? Are we talking about them going to college? Are we talking about tech? Are we talking about trades? What are we talking about? And I'm not. When I said the farm, don't get me wrong. I didn't mean to throw a jab there, but the farm's great. I've got to visit it when I went through a program here. It's a great thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's needed. I like the idea of it being able to supply the school systems with food to help save money. But where's the extra money going to go? They didn't. Where's all the money go?
Well,
you can look at the budget,
especially when it's already kind of been said it's not going to athletics. Maybe a little bit of it, but it's almost like.
Tell me, it's not.
Again, let's be open about it. Let's quit trying to hide that athletics isn't a big part of it. No, that's not us. Yes, it is.
It is.
I mean, and you better think it is.
Well, look at how many athletes, how many students are athletes. Don't look at just football. Volleyball. Looked at GHSA posted. Volleyball is the second most popular sport in the state.
Yep.
That shocked the crap out of me. Most of the students are athletes, so let's give them the great facilities, give the money to them, and then that's going to attract more people. It's a domino effect. I just hate to hear when I'm told that athletics is not a main focus. I agree that education, but they got to go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And if you're not willing to spend on it, then we've got a problem. We got a problem if you're not willing to spend money because you got to have the right coaches. Coaches are huge. They're the ones that spend the majority of the time with these kids during the season. You got to have the right coaches that are building them up. So you got to spend the money on the coaches. If we're not doing that, then that's a problem.
Nope, I agree.
So we want to keep good coaches. We want to keep good people that want to attract more good people. Then that's what your neighborhood. That's what your family. That's what it's all. The community that you're building is having good coaches, good students, good families. It all goes hand in hand. It all works together.
I agree.
I still want to know how the process went with Niblett coming to Gainesville, how that all worked out, how that even started, how you even found out about it.
I think they approached him.
I think once he decided he was leaving the state of Alabama, coming to Georgia, it just made sense for both parties involved. Again, that's, if you got the means and funds to do it, it's almost a no-brainer.
Well, you see I hate to keep going because they got great facilities. Academically, athletically. Look what they're doing over at Ivy Watson, building that new facility there.
Finally.
Props
to you, Chan Brown, for getting that done because that's been a long time waiting. And it kept getting pushed off, and then they realized, wait, we need the facilities.
Yeah.
So now that you're seeing this.
And then you look at the facilities, talk about volleyball, the Hall County Championship. They Coach Hughes talked about, hey, we used to travel around like Lanierland. And then they're like, no, Gainesville has a great facility. Let's just keep it there. That makes sense. So then,
speaking of that, we're going to get into this closer to basketball season. Lanierland, we need you listening.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to have one facility.
Thank you. We need to
the
go to
biggest
a facility
facility
that's large enough to house everybody.
Yeah.
I'm tired of going to school to
and
school.
each school have a gate fee, or
Well, I think that's more on athletic directors too. They need to get together and say, you know what, let's share in the revenue rather than taking it in one lump sum every 3 to 4 years. Let's just share every year. Go to the biggest schools or school, whatever that may be, and just do it there.
Keep up with the times. We get it when you host it. It seems like a great gate fee every year, and it is, and it's good money when you get to host it. But if you would just open your eyes and realize if we had it a larger facility and we all shared in the profit sharing,
building all kind of
it would
apartments
be
in here,
consistency every year. More would come. I cannot tell you how many people want to see Lanier Land and don't come out there because of what school it's hosted at and the parking and the seating, and it gets hot in there and you're standing. When we've gotten so big that we've got schools out there that are putting you in the lunchroom to watch it on a monitor, that is a problem.
It is.
I need everybody to hear me right now. That's a problem. And if you're one of the ADs sitting there at this meeting, this annual meeting, and going, I'm not willing to talk about another facility because we make money off of it, you need to open your eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
We're
not
gonna get on
fair.
that,
Well, it's not fair when you have a brother and sister playing and the parents have to split up and watch he or she.
I mean, it does happen. It does.
And the student body section.
That's all we're going to get on that basketball season.
Well.
All right. Well,
they're either tired of us rambling or they're pumping their fists. Finally, somebody's saying it out loud.
I felt like I kept it pretty tame, so we're going to be okay.
I only almost cussed twice.
Yeah, there you go. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for listening in. Next episode, we are having our first annual Hall County Football Fantasy Draft.
Yep.
We are very excited about this. We are going to, from all the top players in each program in Hall County, the football program, we're going to draft. We're each going to have a fantasy football team. We're going to draft our teams from this.
Yep.
Help promote the players. And, anyways.
You've never won anything.
Yeah.
Except being a loser.
You're going to start Gainesville.
Look, that's his first pick.
No, absolutely not. I've already got a couple.
I know who I'm picking first.
Well, you won't have the first pick, so
watch.
There we go, so.
Let's see here. I'm not. We're gonna need a referee in here. I know there's a shortage.
The Barger Boys can help with that.
They can do that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Barger Boys, again for helping do this.
Who are the Barger Boys?
It's our media team.
Let you know how much I paid. Yeah, I would love to meet them one day.
No, seriously, next week, fantasy football draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope everybody listens. Thank you again for another great week, great episode, great week of sports in Hall County. So anyways, Cash, you want to send us off for the quote of the week?
The quote of the week. Let me get it pulled up here. Loggins said it was a great one. It's cheesy, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm turning 40 this year. It really does make sense. And I want to
make it 41.
Was that a jab at the two of us that he's not 40 yet?
No, I'm not. I'm still. I've got a month left in my 30s. Okay, but no, it's more of the kids. You think we go back to high school, I'm young. I've got the rest of my life. It flies by, especially when you have kids.
Look, I'm fixing to have my 30th high school reunion in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that.
Who cares?
Well, yeah, it would have been his 31st.
Go Trojans.
He would have had his 30th last year, but he wanted to go through 12th grade again.
He reclassed.
He reclassed.
No, they reclassed.
They reclassed him. There you go.
That was probably
high five.
Bullying.
All right. Right now is a gift, and that is why it's called present. It's cheesy, but it makes sense. You got to enjoy it.
Soak that in.
Especially if you're in high school, enjoy it. Enjoy your high school time. If you're a young parent that you're not into sports yet, enjoy it because it will fly by.
Don't get into sports, maybe.
Maybe not. That's absolutely.
That'd be another episode.
So, but yeah, thank you all for listening to us rant, rave, and we'd love to hear the comments. Don't be afraid to throw them out there.
Yep.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube, In the Stands Podcast.